Any possibility that the Vaush bridge could be rebuilt at some point in the future? Almost certainly not. I don't think he's a good person. And then we have huge political disagreements. Would I debate him for views? Like maybe, but I don't like him as like a human being. I think he's kind of a trash like human. And then he's like so clout hungry. Like I would be hyper aware that anytime I collide with him, I would feel bad helping him.
This is much more up our alley. Gavin, a lot of times people sit back and they're like, well, some of my favorite streamers, they're not pals anymore, but maybe one day they're going to get back together again, right? Like, maybe one day Andre 3 Stacks and Big Boy are going to do, a Super Bowl halftime performance together and like really make our day, right? Other times, it's not going to happen. Just the other day, drummer from Rage Against the Machine, one of my favorite bands of all time who I've never seen live, announced that they will never, ever, ever play live again due to dysfunction in the band.
Destiny and Vaush, for those of you who don't know, Vaush literally came from Destiny's community. I feel like there's a decent percentage of people that don't know that. Like they know Destiny and Vaush used to be friends, but they don't know that Vaush literally started out as a member of Destiny's community, right? Vaush would call into the show. He would like debate Destiny, mostly friendly arguments. They had a good rapport. And for the first, I think, a couple months, maybe even a couple years of Vaush being a content creator, they had a decently friendly relationship, but that all went south pretty quickly. And it's at this point been several years since they've really even talked. However, there was that photo from a recent streamer convention where they were pictured together at dinner with Keffels, actually, I believe, in between them. And that did fuel some speculation that, they'd be getting back together in a sense. Like they might put their differences aside and try to recreate that old dynamic where they're kind of frenemies. But anyway, Destiny was recently asked about whether there's any chance they'll make up, whether he'll ever forgive Vaush, and doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, but I did think this was hilarious.
Any possibility that the Vaush bridge could be rebuilt at some point in the future? Almost certainly not. I don't think he's a good person. And then we have huge political disagreements. Would I debate him for views? Like maybe, but I don't like him as like a human being. I think he's kind of a trash like human. And then he's like so clout hungry. Like I would be hyper aware that anytime I collide with him, I would feel bad helping him because I know that he's just in he's like a user mindset.
It is interesting. He says Vaush is clout hungry because recently I've actually feel like I've seen Vaush become a little bit less clout hungry. Like back in the day, he would be like, I'm trying to debate anyone and everyone. I will go anywhere and everywhere. I'll debate the most unhinged person all the way to the, most respected possible name. And nowadays it kind of seems to me, at least, that he's sort of like settled into his routine, his community. He knows what works for him, but it doesn't seem like he's just this out of control, like clout monster, just always trying to, start fights and stuff like he used to. So it's kind of interesting that Destiny says that. I don't see that as much from Vaush these days. If anything, I feel like Vaush is kind of chilled out, like to an extreme degree, almost a degree that, like, to me makes his content a bit boring. Again, he's not in full debate bro mode. He's kind of moved on from like talking about socialism to talking more about stuff like fashion, which is totally fine. But again, it's just the point is that he's, chilled out more, and I don't see him, doing as much, sort of like clout chasing or whatever.
Yeah, I think that this is actually just Destiny kind of being like, oh, I have to have some reason to bash the guy. And in the past, I think it is true that like, oh, he wanted to get in with, Hassan, or, oh, he wanted to like, become like the biggest channel, and everybody that, especially if you get, big like Vaush, I imagine it's, it's like Hunter Thompson described his drug collection, there's a tendency to push it as far as it'll go. Right. I think that's where he was at with this channel. So I don't begrudge him for that, but yeah, I agree. I think he's taken his foot off the gas a little bit, and I think he's just happy to rest on his laurels right now. So it does come off as like kind of just a out of touch criticism, or, whatever. It's not one that I really, find impactful.
Yeah, I also barely ever see Vaush like reacting to Destiny or doing content going after Destiny. Much more often, it's Destiny that I see going after Vaush, reacting to Vaush's content and mocking him. And it's funny stuff, from either end. I don't care either way.
And then I think he's a bad person, so it's just like it would be hard. It'd be hard. Can you elaborate? He seems ultra partisan, and the poppy memes are gross as. But is there something else framing out this bad person? I don't know how much he believes in the shit he believes in. Like seeing him in real life, he was like fake as fuck. And seeing how much he like gaslights his audience over me and stuff like that. yeah, I don't know. Usually when people treat me like that, I just like, I have no desire. That was the thing. These were part of the big things that made me cut off Fuentes completely. When Fuentes started lying about like, oh, he's pro deplatforming and look at this clip from 5 years ago. And oh, he did. And it's like, no, no. Like once you start like misrepresenting me and like, treating me like,
when he says Fuentes, does he mean Nick Fuentes?
Yep.
Wait, like the ultra like the right wing. So he's what? He's like saying, oh, I would have associated with that guy, but now he started being totally disingenuous. Oh, no way. This like ultra right wing white nationalist started acting disingenuously to you. Oh, this is why I can't like the Destiny Sims. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna watch this show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had a whole little arc with Fuentes where they were hanging out a few times. There was actually a couple streams where Nick Fuentes was literally in the same room, like in frame with Destiny, and like Destiny's wife like brought them like PB&Js or something to eat on stream. Like they were chumming it up. But yeah, I guess that's what led to that relationship falling apart. Not Nick Fuentes' disgusting, like just unfiltered anti-Semitism and white nationalism. No, not that. But I guess he lied about Destiny and the fact that at one point Destiny was in favor of deplatforming.
I have very, very, very little desire to help you grow your at all. It just makes me not. Yeah. What did he do in real life? He just like said hi and pretended like everything was cool and whatever. And then as soon as he went back to his stream, he started shitting on me and my chat and making shit up again. And it's just like, yeah, dumb. I don't know. Destiny, do you think with how polarizing your content is, it makes growth harder? Like you take one step forward and one step back? I think it helps. I think we balance it out well enough. Please give Vaush a chance. You guys have different philosophies, but it makes me sad there's no contact at all. Listen, blame Vaush and Hassan. That was their choice, okay? Would you need to be friends with Vaush to work with him? Or are you saying you wouldn't even be able to trust him in a dispassionate coworker type relationship? I don't like that he lies about me and is like, if it was a personal relationship, I would say he's like emotionally abusive. Like the gaslighting shit, the lying and misrepresenting situations where we all know what happened. And I think him doing it intentionally, he knows what's happening. He knows what happened and he's intentional with the way that he lies about me. That's some of the most disgusting behavior. I'd rather like somebody try to beat the shit out of me. I would get along with that person more. Like if somebody's telling me, but it's like, I'm gonna bite you, whatever. I'd respect that person more than like the catty, disgusting, weird than Vaush does. I super hate.
I don't respect people who bite. I don't know. That's where I draw the line. Like fisticuffs, fine. That's a language I understand. Biting, I'm like, you crazy, man. You like at biting. Okay, at this point, we might as well just shoot each other. Like we've crossed the line of civility. You know what I mean? Like there's a line where you're like, hey, man, like let's just do this the old-fashioned way. Like let's just like, you know, knock it up. But if you bite me, like, bro, then it's off. Then it's off. If you bite me, I'll treat you like an animal. Like, you know what I mean?
Not to defend Vaush, but I think you assume way more malice than there is. At least to me, it seems like he's giga aware or clueless and just listens to whatever his chat tells him about you. No, Isaac, I disagree. I think he is very intentional. I think he writes a lot of what he's going to talk about beforehand. And we've seen him do this on stream. No, I totally disagree. I disagree and I know I'm right. The last time he did this, I think I was streaming. Before I criticized him, I gave you the Vaush plot. I literally told you, this is what he does. This is how he misrepresents things. And funnily enough, I think on his very own stream, like 10 minutes after I'd made that exact prediction, he did exactly what I said he would do. He literally did. We saw in real time the way that he misrepresents and rewrites things. His narrative is so predictable. And I'm way over that. Way over it.
I don't really know how much of it is like hate born in heart or like an influence thing or whatever. But yeah, he was... it was being so antagonistic during the VidCon panel. And again, it leads him to say really stupid shit.
I like how my community was not. Where are these threads, Vaush? I'm pretty sure after the Rokana thing, it was a whole page. And I know this because I check my sub very often. It was a whole page of friendship memes and bridge building memes. And like, this is what I was talking about at the very beginning of my talk today, how I get so frustrated that people like him can just completely make stuff up. This is one of the most popular posts on my subreddit this month. And that means a lot because my sub is one of the fastest growing subs on this site. And it's a very, very active subreddit. This is one of the largest of 3,220 upvotes. AI generated art of me and Vaush being friends. Where are all of these comments of my sub hating you? 41 points upvoted. It's so weird how many haters showed up so fast. Stop being so serious, you fucking losers. Have fun. This is awesome.
He's in his feels right now. You know what I mean?